Welcome to Mommy Mia Media, a podcast by moms for moms.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mommy Mia Media. It's been about a week and a half since me and Lindsay have barely talked. We weren't able to do last week's podcast in time. We really did try, but Casey and I were visiting family in Alabama. We really did try to make a valiant effort. It just did not work out. But with that being said,
mom life.
mom life. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you weren't able to catch up on previous episodes, in our last episode we celebrated our 10th episode, which is kind of exciting. Check out our Temu haul. I definitely recommend watching that as opposed to listening so you can see the products, because I don't think I did a really good job at describing what they were. I don't know. I'll have to go back and listen again, but
I think we did good.
I think we did good. Lindsay's actually wearing one of the shirts.
Yes, I
am. Which one is it? The
Killing This Mom Life. Just kidding. I'm a mess.
Yep.
It's very appropriate.
It's very appropriate. I actually was going to wear my Get Lit shirt, and then I found out one of my favorite things about the shirt is that sometimes if you're like looking at it certain ways, it has the books and it says Get Lit, but then it says Get It, because the L will get covered up.
Oh, that's
it's the
funny.
Small things in life.
It is. I liked all my stuff from the Temu haul, though. Even though I haven't seen you, I've been wearing them.
Hey, that's all I could ask, as long as they're getting used. So,
yes.
Let's see. So, just want to first and foremost thank everybody for liking, following, sharing, subscribing. We have seen an uptick in, people viewing and liking and sharing. I had actually republished the article about breastfeeding and breastfed products that I used in celebration of Breastfeeding Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the breastfeeding mamas out there. I do plan on maybe touching upon breastfeeding at some point before the end of the month. Actually, are we even able to do that? Let's see, what is this weekend? It would have to be next episode, so stay tuned there. But what else?
Kids went back to school.
I know. So much has happened. Like, I'm trying to organize my thoughts. I have everything written down.
The week before school was tough because that was when you were gone. I was trying to get the kids ready and prepared for school, getting back on a schedule, which that's tough for us all. I mean, even though, like, I'm used to waking up, my oldest son has to wake up super early.
No fun.
Earlier than normal.
No fun.
And I've been getting up with him, and it's just, like, it's tough on us all. But this week was a good week.
That's good. Did you feel like it was easy? Did you feel...
No. I was bogged down every second, every day. We started sports too. So.
Oh yeah, you said baseball.
Soccer.
Oh, that's right.
Now.
Soccer,
yep.
not baseball.
It'll be
you
baseball.
Just finished baseball.
Yep. It'll be baseball again, short enough.
I'm sure.
Enough. But it's just been, every day has kind of mixed into the other. But the boys had a great first day back at school. They came home super energized and excited. And then the second day was like a bomb blew up in the house. Everybody was like, oh, I don't want to move. I don't want to get out of bed. I was like, come on, get up.
I mean, I get it, though. I mean...
Moping around. But they came home energized after the second day, too. So, and it helped that it was a Friday. So they kind of got the weekend to recover. We'll see how Monday is.
I mean, yeah, back to school, let me tell you, like, I feel like my days have bled together for the last probably 2 weeks. Like, so when we had our Temu haul about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was going to actually talk about some things that had happened or transpired, but we kind of were more involved with showing the product,
yeah,
as opposed to talking about things, and that's perfectly fine. But what you guys didn't know, and Lindsay can vouch for this, is I was already having quite the day. I had actually backed out of my driveway on my way to work in a fluster. Like, I was flustered because I was getting out the door with the baby, and I usually park on the right side of the driveway. I was in the left side, completely forgot, where I was, I guess, and I backed into my neighbor's car. So I, of course, did what anybody does, and in a fluster, don't put it in drive and continue to back into it.
Oh, no.
And I pull forward into my drive, and I just immediately, I'm crying, obviously, because that's, the normal reaction for me. I'm crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a freaking idiot. Like, and it happened, like, I think the worst part about it is, like, so she's already coming outside because my neighbor is going to her doctor's appointment. I'm crying. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I promise. Here's my information. Like, she's like, it's fine. Can we get this, like, later? I'm on my way to an appointment. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I mean, and they have several cars, people that was there, and I think she was having somebody else take her, but I felt so horrible. I of course had to let my boss know I'm not coming. Like, I had to call the insurance and do a million other things, and I just
makes an already hectic
morning. Oh my gosh. And the worst part about it, what you guys don't know, is my husband is an insurance adjuster. So, of course, I have to report it. He's like, oh, yeah, this is what it's going to cost. You know what I mean? Like, no, which is fine. But then my kid was standing right there when it happened. And she is just dying laughing. In fact, so much so that she ran in to check the Ring doorbell to see if it caught it on camera, which it did. And now my husband, who I was just telling the day before at the state fair that I was a great driver and I hadn't gotten in an accident in forever, now has video proof that I am the worst driver.
You will never hear the end of it.
I will never. And he's going to be like, remember that time? Here, I can pull it up for you. Here you go.
Yes. Oh, he will. I still hear about, I was pregnant years and years and years ago and ran in, like, reversed into somebody at a gas station. And I swear it was just pregnancy brain. But Ian will still to this day be like, yay, big blue car. It's
one of those things you'll never live down. And it's just like, oh my gosh. So that was like the start of that. And in addition to that, like, we were about to go to Alabama, which I was like, our car wasn't damaged. Like, my car got the grunt of the damage, and I don't even know if it's out there, if Casey took the... Did he take the truck?
I think he took the truck, yeah.
I was going to say, if you look, like, the tabs are, like, it kind of bent the tabs outwards. I mean, it's going to, it's going to be fixed regardless. But if you look at their car, it's like a scratch. Like, the next day, her husband came over and he's like, it's really not a big deal. My son backed into it at one point and
Did you give him the note?
Huh? No. So, and we didn't talk about this either. Man, there's so much to share with you guys. So I thought the best way to give them my information would be through a letter. And my salutation in the letter was Heidi Ho neighbor, in case he felt that was inappropriate. I thought it would be cute and comical. He did not.
I loved it.
When I told the neighbor, I was like, I was going to put it in a note, but he said that it would be disrespectful to say Heidi Ho neighbor as the salutation. He started laughing. So I was like, these are the kind of people I need. I thought it was funny. He did not.
Oh. Well, while you were wrecking your car, I was, for anybody that knows my husband, he has a very long, bushy beard, ZZ Top style.
Oh, yeah.
And he's very protective of his beard. Like, his beard is, you think of him and you think of his beard.
Right.
I watched a couple YouTube videos and was like, I think I could be a barber.
I'm a pro.
I could 100% trim your beard. Because his cousin got married last night, and so we knew that he was going to need to kind of at least shape it up a little for the wedding. Well, during that, the guy on the YouTube video, he didn't have a guard on it. He was just like getting close but not touching it and going straight down. And I was like, that's easy enough. I can do that. Well, I have ADD. I apparently need the guard because I swear he moved. He kind of keeps his story of he didn't move, but somehow I got the blade too close and I took a chunk of his beard.
You might need to share the photo.
To the skin. So he didn't want to trim the rest of the beard off. So I was like, I can, I used to cut my Barbie's hair when I was younger. I can fix this. No. It just became a giant bush of hair on his chin with nothing connecting it to his hair.
I did not know this. I only knew about the chunk missing.
Nope, it got worse.
You should have stopped while you're ahead.
I laughed. When I tell you when I did this, I thought I was going to be murdered, number one.
You're like, he's
but
definitely...
then, my first reaction, naturally, is to bust out laughing to the point where I can't breathe. Tears are streaming out of my eyes. I'm on the ground grabbing my abs because they hurt because I haven't done a real ab workout in forever. So having that laugh was great. All while my husband just sat on the bar stool and was looking at me like, what did you do to me? And I could not stop laughing. I still laugh. I mean, it was one of those moments where for years I had always been worried about like cutting his hair and like trimming up his sideburns and stuff for him because I was worried I would touch the beard. And then it finally happened and I had my oops moment and it was like all those TikToks where it's like that, oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh. You should totally make one. Did you actually get a video of it?
I didn't get a video, but Ian has pictures of me on the ground, like rolling around, dying, laughing.
You should just put the picture of like the hunk missing out of his beard and then you cracking up laughing. That would be...
The best part was like he called his mom and he like sent her a picture and he's like, yeah, so this happened. And she's like, oh, it's not that bad. It looks good. It looks good. And then she texts me the next day when he was at work and she's like, so. Didn't want to bring it up in front of him, but was that really an accident?
She's like, it's because he was a dick, isn't it?
And I just started laughing and I was like, no. And she was like, well, maybe you could have it accidentally happen again right before the wedding. And I was like, I'll see what I can do.
That is awful.
But I'll share the pictures. And I ruined his Halloween costume too with trimming the beard.
Oh my goodness.
He needed his beard for his costume, so he's going to have to get more creative, I guess.
Oh well. Use that imagination, Ian.
Yeah. But that was just one of the very random, crazy situations I feel like occurred in the last couple weeks. I feel like it's been so long since I've seen you. We've talked.
I know. Well, so
it's been a whirlwind.
Before we went to Alabama, we had Scott's wedding.
Yeah.
And that was like a whole thing. So my little brother just got married. Him and his wife actually have a baby that my niece, she's 5 weeks apart from Emmy, 5 weeks younger. So it's just crazy to watch like the two of them like grow up. But like I will say the wedding was beautiful. They had it at a local golf course here. And
the pictures looked beautiful.
It turned out so great.
And the bride was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
I kind of felt bad. Like I had like the most random pictures because I didn't have my phone most of the ceremony. Yeah. I gave it to Casey and we kind of like were on separate sides of the table because we both were in the wedding party. Yeah. We had to rely on family to basically watch the baby, which was different. But I did get, like, I posted it to TikTok, like, there was a little video of Casey, like, holding the baby, just rocking her. And that was probably one of my favorite moments of the night. Like, I love my brother, and I was so happy to see them, but, like, that
That's one of those videos that like will be in her wedding one day.
I know. I mean? Was like,
when I saw it, I was like,
I'm gonna play it at her wedding. Yeah, I'm gonna give her a video of like that moment, and then her at her wedding day for her to keep.
Yeah,
and her first father-daughter like
oh my goodness,
actual dance. Like
yes, yeah, that's where really my mind immediately went. I was like, I could picture it like being shown at like her wedding, like as she dances with her dad. I was like, oh.
You know, it's amazing. Like my sister actually just messaged me. She was like, would you be interested in maybe getting together for a family night, like where me, you, and like our brother get together and watch old home videos? And she's like, we need a VCR. I was like, ironically, I just recently found one at the thrift store that I think works.
See those random buys.
Yeah, they come in handy. I love coming across little things like that. But VCRs are hard to find.
They really are.
Like, I thought they'd be pretty easy.
I think we have one as well. Actually, my nephew's grandma gave us one a while back with a lot of actual like VHS tapes. So
his mom, Casey's mom, that is, she gave us a ton of VHSs, and I grew up watching Shirley Temple. She had a ton of them, so I kept those ones. Awesome. That was pretty cool, but completely opposite tangent of where we were going. But yeah, so
which is typical.
We had the wedding, and Casey, you know, I got the dance on that, and then that same weekend, we had went to the Ohio State Fair, and when we went there, like I'd taken my niece and Nat, and they had done rides in the morning. We ate, and then we kind of did some shopping in the afternoon.
Oh, that's nice.
It was. Luckily, we did the shopping in the afternoon when they were closing, because we would have done a lot more damage had we not. I tell you what, things are expensive. We did back to school shopping.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it.
Oh my goodness. We didn't even really, like, this year, you know, for whatever reason for us, I think mostly because of our medical bills, it's been a tough year financially. So we're like budgeted. So I told the kids, I said, you're not really getting a bunch of new clothes because you don't need them. Like,
right.
Number one, they're growing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to buy them a bunch of stuff that is for the fall anyways. And they're going to grow. I'm like, I need to buy you bigger things, but you can't wear it right now if I do. So we're going to wait. So exactly. That's what we did. But trying to find school supplies was insane. We actually went to, we were on a budget, so we were bargain shopping, and Ian was getting all excited because of like the prices that he was seeing when we were doing it. But then we had a couple of things added to the list after the first day, and so I went back out and I was like, I just went to like a big name brand store and like walked in, and then I was looking at notebooks and I was like, oh my gosh, these are like $6, like one for paper. Mm-hmm. Like one subject notebook was. I felt old, number one, but I also couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm going to go to the dollar store, and I literally got it from the dollar store. The same exact thing for 40 cents, so.
It's amazing. And that's the thing, like, Natalie is all about aesthetic this year.
Yes.
And with that, because, you know, she's fashionista. With that, everything is about having this aesthetic and everything. So she wasn't paying attention to price, nor should she. She's 11, 12, going on, 12, thinking that she's 16. But she's like, I like this, like, pencil case. And I'm like, no, that's $16. I'm not spending
right.
that. You get this plastic one for 99 cents. She's like, that doesn't match my aesthetic. And I'm like, then you better find a different pencil bag. Like, I'll meet you a little bit, like, but not by much.
Exactly.
Like, and my thing is it's like, she's at that age where she's in weird clothing sizes.
Yeah.
And as a girl, it is so hard to kind of wrap your head around what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to explain to her, because she doesn't like the style that you find in kids' clothing that is her size, because she can technically probably wear like 12, 14, 14, 16.
Yeah.
But then she also can fit Junior.
Yeah.
Like in like 0 to 2 or like extra small to small.
Right.
But then she can wear women, and it's like trying really hard to like tell her like there is no difference between the clothing. They just like to brand it that way.
Yep.
And this is why I feel for so many people out there, because it's like I understand how she's feeling. She just feels 100%. Like she's very awkward right now because her body is changing. She's kind of in that weird, she feels disproportionate, which she's not. Like, but she feels disproportionate. But I'm like, you're going to be going through a growth spurt sooner than you know. I mean, she likes to remind me all the time how tall she's getting.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for me because I see that she's struggling with, like, the fact that she's this in one size or that in another size, and the confusion and the frustration. And not only that, like, but finding something you like in a big brand store and having a very common size and not being able to find what you like. Or when we went to the mall, because of short staff, they didn't have enough people to monitor the fitting rooms, and because it was later in the day, she wasn't able to try things on. So she was like, I would rather not spend my money than buy something and have to come back because it doesn't fit. And she's very all about the fit and the look and the style, and it's just
Yeah, I will say it's easier for boys because they don't care as long as, for Gabe, as long as it's comfortable, like t-shirt, basketball shorts, that's what he wants.
Well, and
like, all right, and he doesn't want like characters and stuff on his shirts. Like that's the biggest thing, is like he's grown past that. So
Natalie has as well. Yeah. Like she doesn't want, like, unless it's like the only character that she's like, I can tolerate is Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. She's like, he's cute.
We all have our exceptions.
Yeah. So, but back to school shopping was interesting. But one thing I want to talk about, I finally got Casey to buy his first pair of Crocs. And let me tell you, this man has been against Crocs, but his niece is all about some Crocs. And we came across these, and I have to show you guys. Hold on. Like, it's adorable. Hold on. I have to show everybody what it is, because they're amazing, and I decked them out for him. You'll see what I mean.
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine.
I did. So
oh my god.
Aren't they amazing? I don't know if you can see this, guys, but these are his beach Crocs because he likes the beach. And he is a Florida boy. That's where he was born, is Jacksonville, Florida. So this just reminded me of Casey.
I love the palm trees.
I do too. I was like, I would totally rock these. These were in the men's section, but I'm just like, I would have totally rocked these as well.
Yeah.
But the other thing is as you can see up close, we'll put those closer to the camera.
What are those things called? I forget.
They're called Croc Gems or something like that. And we went to when we were at the fair, they had this little booth, and this guy had, tens of thousands of these, like, different shoe gems. So I got Casey, of course, he's a Dolphins fan. I got his Dolphins ones.
Have to represent for him.
And they're beach, so it goes with Florida. And then I got him a Gators one. I don't know if you guys can see those. I got him this Gator one here. And then this is he loves Marvel, and I got him a little Captain America one. There's an inside joke about that. I wish I could tell you guys, but I can't. Otherwise, it's not.
I don't know that I want to know. So.
It's nothing like that, but nothing like bad. I just don't. I'm sure. At this time, maybe another time.
I'm gonna accept that answer.
That's gonna be for a subscribe only story. But yes, so we bought him his first pair of Crocs, and we both bought us our very first pair of Hey Dudes, because why not? Which is actually really funny because one of our friends, they ordered theirs off Amazon and got the exact same pairs that we did. So he got the dark gray in men's. Well, I looked at the women's and I didn't really like any of the style for women's. Just, I don't know why. But they had these ones. These are the ones I got. So they're the gray and then they have like the little dark gray back. But they're really comfy. They have these to like tighten.
Yeah.
Not bad. And you can pull this out. Like, I don't know if anybody knows this, but you can pull out the insert and you can pop these in the wash and
that's really nice.
Get washed.
Have you seen the hack for those?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so there's a TikTok, I don't remember whose it was, but there was a TikTok where he takes a sock and he pulls out the insert and puts the sock on the insert. Yes, and then slips it back in, and that way when his feet sweat and stuff, he can just take the sock off and throw it in the wash too. Like, and his feet they don't sweat.
That's ingenious.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to try this hack and let you guys know if
I'll have to try to find the TikTok.
That's genius. But yeah. So, I was like, I gotta get me, because we are getting her new shoes, and it's been a while since Casey, actually, he needs a new pair of tennis shoes really bad. I need to find him some. But yeah, that was interesting. I just feel like everything's kind of flown by. Natalie had, like you said, kids went back to school. Natalie had her first day. I mean, I felt bad too, because when we went to Alabama, we pretty much drove, we were supposed to come home Monday. We decided to drive overnight Sunday night to get home and just relax on Monday.
Yeah.
And the only reason we decided to do that is because we went down to Alabama. Backtrack. No, so we went down to Alabama to visit Casey's family. His sister lives down there in Tuscaloosa. And it was my first time down to Alabama. His nephew is going off to boot camp. His niece is going off to college. Well, they were driving him to the hotel that he was staying at before he had to catch his flight out to, I think he had to fly to Houston, and then he was flying from Houston to San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
So,
I love San Antonio.
Well, he's going to boot camp for the Air Force down there. And it was a really nice visit and everything, but it is one of those things that, we didn't get the house cleaned or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'll touch upon that here in a minute, but we drove overnight to get home because Nat also had her open house that night.
Yeah.
So we got home and I was up all night, mind you. I got maybe 6 hours of sleep. I woke up and I still had to do back to school shopping for her.
Yeah.
So like a chicken with my head cut off, I scrambled. This was this past Monday. Was it this past Monday? Yeah, it was. So I scrambled to get her everything. Mind you, I did just buy her some summer stuff a couple months ago, shorts and shirts.
Right.
But of course, we're approaching a new season. She's also, the boy's growing.
Yeah.
But I scrambled to get her school supplies, a few outfits for her, just so she had something for the first day. I'm like, look, I'm probably, we can go.
It's important to, at least for me when I was the little girl, that was always, what I looked forward to, was, that first day outfit.
Well, and that's what I said. Look,
my
I'll
little
at least
boys,
get
they
you
could care
something.
less. But
I'll at least get you something that you're happy with to go back to school. And it's just one of those things, now that she, because she cares about what other people think of her. And kids can be cruel. But I also try to teach her to, laugh things off. I remember, she came home one day and she was crying. She's going to kill me for telling you this story. But, she came home and she was like, yeah, this kid, he said that my name, if you change the N to an F, my name would be Fattily. And, was crying. And, of course, me as her mom that loves and supports her bursts out laughing. And And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, but I couldn't help but laugh because it's so. And she was like, I don't know why you're laughing. But I told her, I was like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, that's how funny it is. And I was like, and sometimes you just have to laugh. I was like, look, honey, I was like, I'd be like, what is his name? She goes, Trevor. I'd be like, that ain't clever, Trevor. And of course, Mia's mom thinks it's super funny. She not so much, but
I can just picture the look that she gave you, like.
And this was at least 2 years ago. She was probably in 4th, 5th grade. Like,
aw.
You know,
see me as Aunt Lindsay, I'm like, where's this Trevor kid?
Usually I am, but it was one of those days it just caught me off guard, and I just had to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not.
Right. Well,
I don't want Natalie.
Like, that's not, that's not her. That's not.
It's words, and I'm not saying that words can't hurt.
Exactly.
They absolutely can, right? I get it. But, like, sometimes it's like,
you have to have a little bit thicker skin.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit of thick skin in the world. Like, if not, you're not going to fare well.
There has to be a balance.
Yes,
Don't
but at
let
the same
someone
time,
step on you, but be able to laugh.
Don't let somebody disrespect you completely. Like, calling her fatally, it's like, you know what? Meh. Like, I don't really care about that. Now, when she did have at one point, she did have a bully, and he was pouring hand sanitizer in her hair on the bus, and, like, he even went so far as to take his hand and push her head into the bus window for no reason. And when I found that out, I got on the bus. Like, you're not going to put hands on my kid. Like, that's a different story. Yeah. Like, that is...
I remember when my kids found out, they were like, who is this?
Yeah. Like, you better not do that. She might not have brothers, but...
Close enough.
Close enough. So, she has family. No, but... And then, like, it's funny, too, because, like... her cousins are in the same school district this year, and a few of them are going to her school. So.
Oh, she was telling me about that.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm nervous about that.
It's funny, like, it's just been a lot of change this week, like you said, getting back to schedules. It's just been adapting. I feel like things are just flying by in the blink of an eye, and there's just no time to really just pause. Like, I think the last time I paused was before the wedding. I did take Nat to see the Barbie movie. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, I don't think. If I am, spoiler alert. A really good cast, first and foremost. I don't know, you know that Margot Robbie is obviously in it. We went and watched it with my sister and niece. And it was one of those movies, like, a lot of the reviews out there will say it was very feministic, had a very not undertone, I mean, it was very transparent. It had, like, things to do with, like, politics and gender roles and things of that nature.
Really?
But, sometimes I think if you just take it at face value, it's not as in-depth as it should be. Like, there is definitely feminist tones to it. There's definitely a political aspect to it. But, like, if you're a kid and stuff, like, let's be real. Like, we didn't pick up on things. Like, I laughed about something the other day, and I don't remember what movie. Oh, it was in Cars. There was something that was said in Cars, and I started cracking up because I never caught it before.
Oh, I do that all the time.
And I was like, how many times have I watched this as a kid or even as an adult, and I just never picked up on that subtle innuendo.
There's some, like, in Aladdin, like, that I picked up on, rewatching it recently for some random reason. She's gotta have my attention for a second. She's just so cute. I can't even deal. I know.
She's wide awake now.
I missed you. I missed you so much.
We can come back to the Barbie movie. We can talk about her for a minute. So, I don't think... Put her in the frame a little bit more.
Oh, you grew. Here, you want to see? Do you want to see? Hello.
She's just like, I'm chunky. So, a little about this one. She had her 4-month checkup this week. She is now 13 pounds and 24 inches long. She's in the 40th.
So much.
Yeah, she's in the 40th percentile.
Oh.
She has been. I'm pretty sure we're on the cusp of teething.
Oh.
She has been less involved with her binky here recently and more involved with chewing on her hands.
Oh, yeah.
So the slobber has been lots and lots.
And the slobber is real.
It is, yes. And then in addition to that, she has started playing with the toys and like started chewing, like gumming them, you know what I mean? So
she's trying to get my finger now.
Yep.
Nope.
Also because she's found her fingers.
Yeah.
She will chew on them and like full fist her mouth and to the point that she'll gag herself and spit up.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great time right now, let me tell you. But she also, as you're aware, had her first full-fledged belly laugh giggle, which we have that.
I love that.
On a few platforms, so check that out. I will say that was probably one of the most heartwarming moments. Like,
just watching it was melted
me. And it's funny. So the story behind it is Nat had went up. She had this like little Gatorade bottle and she like squeezed it in her face. And I'm like, that's so mean. Don't do that. And she just started laughing. And I was like, okay, like that's hilarious. So like I went ahead and I started recording. I was like, go ahead and do it again. Let's see if she still has the same reaction. So she did it again and she just started cracking up and like would not stop. And we all just had a good laugh from it. We probably sat there for a good minute and a half while she was just laughing. But
she's just such a happy girl.
She's happy. She's very attentive. Right now she loves talking. She loves watching certain shows. She likes Little Einsteins, but she's all about Morphle on Netflix. I think it's because it's very colorful. But we were talking to her pediatrician, and one thing he did say is that her ears, and if you look at her, you can tell her ears are a little offset from one another. So one's higher than the other. And they say that that's because of like maybe her not using one side of her neck as much as she should. And I don't know. He gave me a referral basically to like a neurosurgeon just to like check it out. To make sure she doesn't need like a helmet for the shape of her head or anything like that. He was like, I don't think that there's anything wrong. Sometimes they recommend like a helmet or exercises just so it can fix that. And he's like, it's probably even just
I've known a couple of kids that have had to have them, and typically it's not for very long.
And it's typically cosmetic, like is what I've heard as well. Some kids need it, but some it's literally just for a slight cosmetic issue. Is what he told us. So we have that scheduled. So that should be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit about her. And then in addition to that, like, I asked for a status update for her childcare. Yeah. And
she's giving you the answer.
I guess so. Like, let Aunt Lindsay. No, but childcare, I mean, we've talked about it before. It's expensive. There's a wait list. But I checked because we were supposed to be getting in the fall. We're approaching that quickly, so I just asked for a status update. Well, the one daycare that is being built brand new, it was supposed to open a little ahead of schedule at the end of this month. Well, I guess they had something happen. Start date got pushed back. It's going to be late October. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. But let me check with the other, because I put my name in, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Right. So I called the other one. They're like, yeah, basically we didn't have a lot of people fall off. The wait list hasn't really moved. The earliest, the next time frames that they typically see, like, people kind of drop off is January, if not May of next year. Oof. And I'm like, I have been doing this, and we've talked about this in previous podcast episodes, that I've already been doing the trying to work and be mom thing, and wears thin overtime. I love my kid. I like, I like my job. Let's be real. Like, but to be doing both, like, I mean, I get it done. I do what I have to, but it doesn't mean that it's not draining.
No, it's a struggle for any mom.
For anybody who's out there doing it, I give you...
My mom, dad, grandma. It's a struggle. Babies are hard. Working is hard. I was watching something the other day, and it said that, like, say a mom with a new baby or a stay-at-home mom works roughly 95 to 98 hours a week. And you're doing that, but also with a at least 40-hour-a-week job.
Right. Well, and I see about how I was feeling burnt out. And, typically he will send me, like, inspiration, motivational videos. And have you ever heard of Gary V or Gary, I think his name's Vanderchuk?
I don't think so. Doesn't sound familiar.
So you'd have to look him up, but he has a lot of inspiration, motivational videos. And actually, he is the one who, watching him inspired me to, like, actually, like, do this, okay?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I really enjoy his videos because he basically grew up as a foreign immigrant, and he has grown his worth. He actually his goal is to own the New York Jets, right?
Oh,
and he's made sacrifices. Yeah, he's made sacrifices and done different things. Super, cool guy as far as from his videos, it seems like. But, I don't know, maybe I was just feeling a type of way. He sent me this video about Burnout from Gary V. And Gary's like, if you're feeling burnt out, like, you can make a change. Like, don't make excuses. Like, sell your house and move in with a family member and I'm like, you know what? Like, I get what the overall message is, Gary, and I'm not trying to shit on your message, but at the same time, I'm also like, I don't have the luxury. First and foremost, if I were to sell my house right now, I'd be foolish. I'm going to pay more to downsize in a smaller place to save a buck than I am if I were to stay put. Because right now, the housing market is ridiculous. Like, I know people who are paying more than I am just to live in a space smaller than where I'm at.
100%. I know several people.
And then, in addition to that, even if I have, like, I don't have family that I can move in. Let me rephrase. I have family I could move in with, but it would be under extreme circumstances. It would be because I'm going through a hard time or I lost my own place of living. Not because I'm like, hey, can I live under your roof so I can follow my dreams?
Right.
And it's not because my family doesn't believe in me, but it's because they're raising their own family and have their own struggles. And I'm sorry, but we're not built to live in a roommate capacity with our siblings after we've done it most of our life. Love my sister, but we didn't get along as kids. I couldn't imagine, like, imposing on her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, just know my lodge is always open.
Not for extended periods of time, though. Like, you'll have a deadline. Like, love you.
It is. You can do it while you build a cabin out there.
Exactly. And then we at least live separately, but close in proximity.
Exactly. But I think that's why they needed.
I don't know, but I was just feeling some type of way, Gary. Nothing personal. I was just like, I get the message, but
I'm not moving. Number one, moving in general is just like, I never want to do that again.
Well, and I think that, my burnout is not necessarily with my job or with being a mom. It's just, I feel like it's everything right now. And I know, so I haven't been consistent with my depression, anxiety medication here lately. Oh, wait. Actually, before I get into that, this will segue into this in a minute. We were talking about the Barbie movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, with I took Nat because I just felt like we were go, 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 and I knew it was going to continue to be go, go, go until pretty much this week when things kind of start tapering down. But we're also approaching her birthday and, fall activities and the holidays. So it's like, I do try to take advantage of those moments. So I went ahead and we went and saw the Barbie movie. I really did like it, but there's a few parts I wanted to mention, and I'm sorry, for those who were actually like waiting for me to wave you down because we were done talking about the Barbie movie, we're back at it.
I think any of our listeners should know by now that I have the worst ADD, but we get on
combined. We're awful. So the Barbie movie. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So there's a quick commercial, and I'm sure that if you Google it, it's out there. But spoiler alert, it's a commercial for Depression Barbie, and I was like, I really need this Barbie in my life. I've never related to anything more. And out there, Barbie, I have an idea for a whole series of Barbies, okay? You know, there were certain parts in the movie, but that one really hit home for me. Because here recently, I've just felt like I'm the default parent. Mm-hmm. And I think moms understand this. Or if you're a single parent, you get this.
Yeah.
Or if you're just, like, the primary parent, like, I mean, I don't want to, completely outcast dads who are doing it on their own.
Right. Oh, yeah. Because they're out there.
And they do an amazing, like, I know some single parents, both men and women, who do a great job. I mean, I was a single parent before. I mean, Nat's dad is in the picture, but there were some times that I had to do things on my own that are just, they fall on you as the primary care provider. But I mean, as the default parent, like, I just have been feeling very weighed down. So much so that, I mean, not to be too personal, but I mean, that's what we're here for, is to kind of talk about the real nitty gritty stuff. I feel like a lot of the responsibility is just pushed on me. Like, for instance, she had her doctor's appointment this week. When she has her doctor's appointment, who takes the time off? When she's sick, who takes the time off? When you have to do the school shopping, when you have to find childcare, when I just feel like it all kind of lands on you. And, like, I kind of lay it into Casey a little bit because I'm like, I want to be a team in this. Like, finding childcare shouldn't just be on me.
Right.
Like,
a partnership.
Like, I have looked in and put our names in a few different areas. Like, you should also, help me or collaborate with me so we can kind of figure this out. Because one of the reasons, because he also is like, you've just been super angry and upset. And I'm like, I'm angry and upset because I'm constantly, like, working and being mom, and I don't have a break at the end of the day.
At both ends.
I am, and I don't know where to catch a break. And my emotions are getting a bit much, and I know that, like, again, I haven't been taking my medication, and that's where that Depression Barbie thing, like, I was like, relatable, like,
yeah.
But it's like, because I'm feeling burnt out, I'm taking, you take your anger out on the ones you love the most, and I take it on Casey. And some of the issues are valid. Like, childcare is one thing, like, that he could help me with. But sometimes I feel like he is a little bit more hands-off when I feel he should be hands-on or more involved with the baby. And maybe it's just me being tired and needing him to step up. And as opposed to just asking him, just like, why don't you already know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there has to be communication there.
But, like, I just feel like I don't even have time to shower. I don't have time to just take a minute. Like, he wants to roll off work and he wants to have, like, a half hour, an hour to decompress. It's like, I do too.
Yeah.
And I've been playing both parts. Yeah. Like, and I'm not getting that. And it's like, we didn't have time to clean before we went to Alabama. And you understand this because we've talked 100%. About it before.
Yep.
I like to have my house clean. So when I come back, I can just be like, oh, it's nice to be home.
Yes.
Instead, I come home and the house, I mean, literally every room you walked into, because we did the Temu haul, all the mess was still out. I still needed to wash all the laundry that I bought from there. I still needed to wash all of our clothes that we didn't get around to before vacation, plus all the vacation clothes. Plus, I had to, like, sweep and mop because the dogs were, of course, by themselves. And my nephew came over and he cleaned it up. But, of course, you know, I didn't ask him to, like, mop the floor. So if he found any kind of mess, it's like, let me Lysol it. So I was like, let me actually mop the floor. It just, I was feeling super bombarded by, like, the house not being cleaned. And then in addition to that, it's like at the end of the day, we're both so tired. We're both, like, I'm yelling at him. He's like, I'm trying my best. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, but I don't feel like, I still feel like there's things that you could do, but you're not asking the right questions.
Yeah.
But I'm also not speaking up, or if I am, I feel like I'm not being heard because, like, I do feel like I've had the conversation, like our bedroom, for instance, it's messy. Yeah. And the last conversation we had about our bedroom being messy was when we had an argument about it and he helped me clean it. Yeah. But that's the last time he's cleaned our room. And it's like, I shouldn't have to, you have eyeballs. If you see it, straighten it up. Like, neither here nor there. And I mean, like, he does do, like, he will wash her bottles to make sure that she has bottles. He will cut the grass. But I'm like, that's a once a week, once every 2 weeks.
And sometimes in the moment, you just want what's in front of you done. You know, what you have, if you're walking around things, like, that's what you want it to, that's the priority. And I get that because Ian does that too. It's like, I love the TikToks where they're like, oh, we're having people over. And it's like, where'd my husband go? Oh, he's outside trimming limbs off the tree, like that. You know what I mean? Like, we have a house we have to clean for people inside, and for some reason that's where his mind goes, that needs done.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
like, they're gonna care about those limbs. Yeah. It's like, no, they're gonna care about the fact that our floors were sticky when they walk in here because they're gross. Yeah. Like,
I get it, but I relate to that TikTok because of that. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, it's not just me.
I have just been a little bit of everywhere, and I just feel like I feel like it's weighing on both of us because I have been getting an attitude, but I'm like, I feel like it's warranted, and maybe it's not. I don't know. Like, he was like, well, ask, like, Lindsay, ask your fans. I'm like, I don't want to involve them.
I think that you're just running on fumes. I think that it's natural for anybody to be at their wit's end and to need, you know, some sort of support, and that's where, you know, you hope that that will come from your husband naturally, but it's not always what happens.
Typically he's very, you know, Casey can be my best friend.
Right.
He can be my therapist. He can be my wedding date. He can be whatever I need him to be.
Yeah.
But here lately, I think it's just, I've been a little bit hectic because of everything that I'm going through.
Yeah. And
I'm taking out on him, so it's hard for him to be my therapist when I'm, like, angry at him.
Yeah.
And he actually recommended that we try to go see somebody, but I'm also like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, not because I'm opposed to therapy, but I'm like, I even thought about, like, just seeing someone just to go for myself, but
maybe you guys just need, like, a mediator. Like, you both have valid points, you just need to come to some sort of compromise where you both don't feel like, because I know that that's how Ian and I are. Like, we've been, this will be our 12th anniversary as married, but then, like, started talking 17 years ago.
Yeah.
So we've finally figured it out, and we're still figuring it out. We don't have it perfect, but the biggest thing is, like, never stop talking to each other. Like, be able to have those hard conversations, because
I just feel like it's not even the hard conversation, though. My issue is it's not a hard conversation to have. It's just that we're both so tired.
Yeah. Well, that's when Aunt Liz comes and steals the kids.
Well, and that's the thing, is it's like, I think that's, like, the elephant in the room, is I feel like I need time to clean the house, but I can't do it with her attached to me. Like, the moms who are out there who are wearing their kids, I applaud you, but first and foremost, I have my back, like, I have issues with my back, and I also have issues with my hip, and eventually that will probably need addressed. But I mean, I love holding my kid, and I will hold her as long as I can, but, like, mopping and sweeping with her attached to me,
major physical labor.
It hurts over time, and I've been trying to make healthier decisions and stuff like that because I have gained weight since having her, and I haven't necessarily lost that, and they're looking at my...
look like it.
Thanks, but I do have, they're looking at my thyroid and everything as well, and that's great, but at the same time, I'm still feeling every pound.
Yeah, I get it.
And then adding her to the mix, especially all little 13 pounds of her, like, she's a heavy girl. And that's the thing, too, is, like, I didn't realize it until you, like, hold my niece, who's 5 weeks,
Yeah.
Younger than she is.
Growing,
and I'm like,
Mom.
Man, like...
I am getting bigger every day.
She is chunky. The doctor said we could actually start trying cereal. I'm not sure if I should. I'm like, I'm not ready, but I'm like, 2 more months, she'll be eating soft food.
Yeah. It might fill you up. Fill you up a little more.
We've also moved from 0 to 3 to 3 to 6 month clothing because she's starting to look like little.
So
she fills out those 3-month clothes.
You're getting big.
Oh my goodness.
What else has happened this week?
I don't know.
I get what you're saying about just needing some support, and
I tell you what,
it's tough. It really is. And I just think that when you have everything that you have going on and baby and just the dailies, like, you gotta lean on your tribe a little too. Like, let me come over and even just hang with her while you go clean, or let me clean something, or we gotta you tell me the same thing.
I know, and I'm not completely alone.
Yes.
Like, Casey's parents have been helping out 2 days a week, but when you work 5 days and that's not even 50%, it does take a toll.
Yes.
And then, like, of course, with his mom breaking her arm there for like a week or two, we didn't have anybody. So it kind of just fell on us. Because, I mean, my mom, yes, she is capable and able, but she also works. Like, my mom is still fairly young. She's not at a retirement age. My, friends and everybody primarily work or have their own lives. Like, you live an hour away. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to Lindsay, but I know that you would. It's just, it is about asking for that support. And I think we as moms feel guilty. Yeah. Like, you get it. We've been friends forever. Yeah. And even the other day, you needed something. And it's just like, I'm just going to do this for you because I know you won't ask.
I know. And that's, with everything that's been going on, I think the season that I'm in right now, to be just, like, blatantly raw and honest, is, like, it's a tough season. And, like, financially, it's a tough season. There's just a lot happening. I'm in a transition of, like, I don't even know, like, career-wise, like, what my next steps are going to look like and what I want to do and what makes me happy, but what also fulfills us financially. But I just feel like during this time, I feel incredibly blessed at the same time, and I'm trying to look at that because I have seen, like, my friend, stepping in, my husband trying to take some of my load off, but while also knowing that he has a huge load on him too. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, then this weighs you down, and it's a tumultuous time right now, and this, I hate to say it, but this economy is not helping it, and it's making things worse when it comes to trying to figure out these career goals I have. Well, and I'm like, I don't want to settle. I am always striving for more, and I just feel like right now I'm not making any strides.
Well, and I mean, I get it. I think that maybe I do need to remind myself that Casey is also going through his own struggles. I mean, with holding down the fort and things of that nature. And that's a great point that you bring up, because it's good that you're also looking at that. But I just feel like we're not doing a good job talking about it.
Yeah.
And like you said, communication is like a huge key, but it doesn't do anything or do us any good if the communication that we're having is yelling.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying, like, if I come over and steal the kids, or you know, have somebody watch them just for a day, even if it's just to catch up on your own sleep, what you need to do, maybe that would provide you the patience and the rest, and him the patience and the rest to come at it and be kind of reset and be able to reapproach the issues.
Well, and I'm also one of those people, like, look, like, I'm not, you know me, like, I'm very blunt about, like, how I feel a lot of the time, as far as, like, I'm not going to make you guess, this is why I'm mad, help me, but
not
he's
going to nickel and dime this.
We just haven't been communicating very well. Like, I feel like I'm asking for time. Like, I'm just like, can you take her for a day so I can get the house clean uninterrupted? I can shower. I can take care of my own needs. I can maybe watch an episode uninterrupted. Like, I tried to watch the first episode of the newest season of, what is it? I don't know, one of the shows I watch on Netflix, but basically I was probably able to get through 5 minutes of, like, listening to it before this one started doing this and talking and fighting sleep.
Yeah.
Say we're at a point where we've learned that we can fight sleep, and we want to do that all the time now.
Yeah, she's got fear of missing out. I think she does.
Well, we're also in that transitional phase that here, like I said about being the default parent.
Yeah.
She's going to be teething soon, so that means fever, that means cranky baby, that means sleep regression, and I know that we're... Yeah. You telling me this is a sample?
She's like, it's already starting, Mom. It's real life. It's not always going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows.
I know. But this is real life for us. So,
but that's why I like this podcast, because we get this time that we try to carve out. I know last week there was not a possibility.
It wasn't. We really did try.
But it's an outlet for both of us to I know when I walked in, I told you, I was like, I just feel lighter. Like, there's my best friend. I just needed her.
And you know what? I hope that it's an outlet for others as well. Like, look, I mean, I was even talking to a friend of mine who's a newer mom, and she is like, I'm struggling and I don't know why. And I'm like, it's not... First and foremost, we always have this idea, like, you know, it's like what I thought pregnancy was going to be like versus what reality. It really is. Or what I thought having my baby would be like. And, you know, there's no shame if you don't have that, like, normal, natural glow of motherhood right after. Let me tell you something.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, if you're out here and you have some golden glow, good for you. Typically, most of us have, like, a gray cloud over us because we just popped a child out of us.
We're exhausted.
We're exhausted because we had just popped a child out of us, and people come visit in the hospital. And then they want to visit, and they want to be helpful, and they offer advice, and then you're terrified because every little thing is, you know, questioned. You know, is this normal? Is it not normal? This article says this. This article says that. I actually was just telling you the other day, like, or maybe it was this morning. I was reading a girl that I went to, her post the other day. I'm sorry. Hold on. I didn't realize your banks fell. Like you said, this is an outlet for me, and if it can be an outlet for other people, like, that's all I can hope for. Like, I know a new mom who is just like I said, there's almost this expectation that we're just supposed to love being a mom and day in and day out, and then once you become a mom, that's your identity.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I struggle here recently, is I feel like I haven't had my own identity even when it comes to working, because I feel like I'm just very pulled. Yeah. So
you're spread thin.
You do get spread thin, but and you know, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I myself can work on that, but I like to reiterate to other moms, like, there's no shame in asking for help. Like, have your person. Like, I'm very blessed and thankful that I do have Casey. Like, and the hardest thing for me is because I do love my husband.
Yeah.
But when we are at each other's throats, you just get to a point where you just are like, you start questioning. And I hate doing that because it's like, I mean, I don't want to leave my husband, but I also don't want us to be at each other's throats. So how can we fix this?
Yeah.
And we just need, and typically we're really good about coming together and fixing it. But I think here lately I've just been so spread thin that I just can't rationalize things sometimes. But I also don't feel like what I'm trying to ask for is something that is that hard. Does that make sense?
Completely. I get it. I think that's where, like I was saying, I think you do need a rest. You know what I mean? You need to just
pause.
Give yourself some grace where maybe you disconnect from everything for a day. Watch your shows, relax, you know,
take a good shower. Then you feel that guilt.
Now, I know it, but that's why you need a real day. Not a day that's just a couple of hours. You need a real day of just give yourself that time, because you will spend most of your day feeling guilty, but then that little portion is that what you need.
That sense of...
Yes. And if you can have that, then it'll bring you some peace to where you can express concerns and feelings in a manner in which you'll have more patience, to where you don't feel like you have to yell. I know that's something that, I mean, I have to do. I have to be like, I need a moment, and I'll go in and I won't sleep that night. I'll be catching up on every show that I can because it's like my time.
Well, and like, I find it funny because like one of the Facebook posts that I read to you earlier.
Yeah.
It's a girl that I know I used to work with, and I don't have it like written down anywhere, but it was basically like, is it just me, or does anybody else feel like basically the world is on fire and there's nothing I can do about it, and I'm worried about the planet, but I'm also like,
is my kid eating enough?
Yeah, like just like this whole laundry list of things that it's like you literally have just random thoughts throughout the day, and it's always some random anxiety that you're just like, why is this even...
brain?
But it really is, and it's so exhausting. Just even reading the post, it was exhausting because I can totally feel every aspect of it. Like, you feel like the world is spinning, but it's on fire, and you're standing still, and everybody else is just walking past the fire casually, and you're the only one like, do you see this? Like,
right. Exactly. I think there's a lot of us that can relate to that. I think more often than not, most of us are going through it. It's really tough.
I don't know. If any of you guys are going through a season right now, I definitely am feeling for you. It's okay. Have your person. Like, I mean, I have Casey, but you also have to have somebody outside of your spouse. And Lindsay is my person. And, hey, we could be your people, too.
Yeah, seriously. That's why we started this, This was our outlet, but also knowing that sometimes it's a struggle and sometimes you need somebody.
And sometimes it's just about laughing along the way. Like, I mean...
I will tell you, okay, so I have this friend, she's one of my greatest friends. I've known her since elementary school. I stopped over there the other day, and we ended up running out and just getting a quick bite to eat, and then, we ran errands together. I still needed to get some school supplies, notebooks and stuff that came out after, so, and she needed to get some things for her kids, so we just ran to Walmart together. And it ended up that we acted like we were in high school. We saw two, scooters that were, left out in the parking lot, so we were like, oh, we should take these and, be good. But then we get on, and of course we start, cracking up laughing. Didn't know how badly we needed that laugh as we slowly scooted across the parking lot in these scooters.
That's great.
But it was just a quick, you know what I mean? It wasn't
it's one of those moments.
Yeah, it wasn't a plan. This is what we're going to go do. This was just, hey, we both need a timeout, and we still have crap we have to get done, so
let's do it together.
Yeah, I'm in town for a quick second, you're home, let's run. And then it ended up being like we were high schoolers walking through Walmart at midnight, but really it was 5:30 in the evening, and we were moms running errands.
Well,
goofing off and being crazy.
It's crazy. Like, you all need those moments, and to be back in high school again. But like, we all need the moments to laugh, but we also need the moments to reflect. And like, even with back to school,
yeah,
I will say, like, the craziest realization came this past weekend. I went to my nephew's last high school football game.
Oh.
Tell me about it. Like, it's crazy to me how quickly time goes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so proud of my nephew, first and foremost. Like, I actually just randomly, like, was thinking about him the other day, and I just had to text him. Like, I was like, I'm just so proud of you as you start your senior year. He's about to be 18 in October.
No.
And he's going to be going off to college, and his hope is to play football. But, I'm sitting there, and the realization struck that I was in my senior year of high school when he was born.
Yeah.
Okay. And I am now sitting at his senior football game.
Isn't it wild?
And when he's my age now, he will be at her senior graduation.
Yeah.
That is how the world works. And it's just like, man, that is just so full circle. So crazy.
Yeah.
But
gotta have those moments of reflection. And then I appreciate time a little more when I have those moments too, because I'm like, it is so fleeting. It goes so quick. I'm just so happy and blessed that I feel like I have such good support, and I hope that there are others out there that if they don't have that support, they can get that support, because I could not do this life without you, especially. There's no way.
it does seem like it. I mean, it seems like it goes so slow, but it goes by so fast. Like, I was just saying, like, was that this past Monday? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it really was this past Monday that we had pretty much drove all night Sunday, Monday morning to get home by Monday. We slept for a few hours just to roll into their week because of back to school. Like, it really has been a whirlwind and a blur.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no wonder I feel tired. Like, I felt guilty because I was supposed to go to my cousin's little boy's birthday yesterday. And I could not find the energy yesterday. Like, I mean, I wanted to go, but it would be another weekend that I didn't attend to my house and my laundry, and
and that's a snowball effect.
Well, and it's already been like, a week and a half, 2 weeks. So for me, I'm like, I need to take a breather. So I got the downstairs done, and I do anticipate on trying to get a little bit of the upstairs done. But then I can finally breathe, because you get it. Like, when
100,
I feel 50%. Like if I don't have everything prepared for the week, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. It's not a successful week for me. Does that make sense?
No, I totally get it. That was my biggest kind of priority this last week when the kids went back to school, was trying to provide that kind of stability, setting their week off right. Waking up early, and typically, not every morning this is going to happen because we have a million things going on, but I woke up early, cleared the schedules, like, made sure that the house was clean, but then, like, I made them breakfast, and I had those moments before school with them, and just tried to set their day off to a really great start as they transition back into the school year, because they were excited. It was to the point of the summer where they were kind of ready to go back. Mm-hmm. But everything else felt like at home, like it was chaos. And that's probably why they wanted to go, because it's like, we've been so busy. They're like, oh, finally, like,
a little bit of normalcy.
Let's get back on a routine. So,
boys, I think that typically like a little bit more, or they need a little bit more routine. Natalie, I mean, Casey is very scheduled. Me and Nat are not.
Yeah. But see, I needed the routine too of going back to
I
school.
do
Like,
too, but the problem is I'm
but
not a morning person, and poor Casey has to deal with both me and Natalie not being morning people.
Yeah.
And I've been really struggling here lately, and I don't know if it's just, when you like don't have a lot of sleep for a specific amount of time, or you have poor quality sleep.
Yeah.
That you almost have like sleep debt.
Yeah.
So when we went to Alabama, we slept at his sister's house, and the mattress was okay, but it wasn't ours.
Yeah.
And your body can feel that, right? So I was definitely uncomfortable, and I've been feeling it since then. And I haven't had the time to go to my chiropractor yet. So I'm overdue. And with that, I, have been not sleeping so great, even being back home. And then on top of it, like, I was also trying to stay up with Casey most of the night as he drove home.
Yeah.
From Alabama to Ohio.
You're such a nice wife.
Well, I tried really hard, and honestly, we did really good up until we hit probably, I want to say it was before Louisville. But we had a decent drive. There wasn't a lot of like traffic overnight, but we hit a rainstorm, and Casey doesn't like to drive at night, let alone in the rain at night, and I don't blame him. No, I don't either.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I was like, I want to stay up and be supportive. That rain hit, and I was just like,
yep,
lay out.
I feel so bad, but I've always been this way. As soon as I'm in a car, if we're driving for a long period of time, like, I'll have those moments of like, oh, road trip, and I'll play DJ, and it's fun, and then it's like, 45 minutes, an hour of that, and I'm like, I love you, good night.
See, Casey is so he doesn't like to be distracted, so he doesn't like music playing. He's not the best, like, road trip partner.
I would die.
But the other aspect of it is also, like, I don't like sleeping in the car. I don't know, like, I can't, I like to read. I can't typically read in the car. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But typically I can't because, like, in my peripheral, I'll see the movement, and I'm trying to focus on something that's still, and it makes me sick.
Yeah.
It's like a motion sickness. And then it'll give me a headache, or I'll feel like I need to vomit or something.
Not a good feeling.
Not a good feeling. But, like, I also don't like sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes you just hit a wall, and, like, I'm one of those people, I swear, people would probably think I was drunk, because I'll be, like, up, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm so fine, and they'll be like, and they'll be like, huh? Yeah, everything's great. I'm totally up.
Yep. No, last night it was funny because we had gone to Ian's cousin's wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. Like, the family was there. I mean, she looked like a princess. Like, it was a really nice, like, laid back, but, like, beautiful and fun time. Mm-hmm. We were, like, dancing, and the drinks were a little bit flowing, and just having a good time, really letting
just
loose.
A little bit flowing.
Not so much for Ian, because he had to do the 2-hour drive home, but he knew that, and so he was like, have fun, mama, like, enjoy. And so I was dancing and having a great time. We got in the car, and I was like all amped up. I'm like, yeah, like, let's listen to music. Let's, I'm going to stay awake with you, watch for deer. This is going to be like an okay 2-hour drive home. 15 minutes into it, like, all that stopped. Ian just looked over, and he's like, good night, Cinderella. I was like, good night.
It happens.
And, like, you had even texted me, and I was just like...
Yeah, you know what? We all hit our thing. Like,
good night.
We actually had company over the other night, and I was so tired. Like, I didn't want to go to bed because I cleaned the house, at least the downstairs, and I didn't want to go to bed with the downstairs having even the slightest bit of mess, so that way all I had to do was focus on the upstairs. So it'll be interesting, but I mean, there's plenty more that we could probably talk about. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch upon that we missed?
I don't think so. I think I've touched on
I was about to say,
probably remember things later, but we can save it.
I was about to say, we'll probably forget, and that's okay. We'll just insert it into another episode of Mama Mia Media. Yeah. If you haven't already, remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate you bearing with us during our ADD moments when we'll start talking about one topic and then go on a tangent and then pick back up where we left off, like we did not just go on that tangent. We are the home of that.
It's us.
Thanks for joining, guys. We missed you. We look forward to next week. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.